Hey, good morning. Fixing to leave the truck stop here at the Flying J. I'm at the 240 in Indiana on I-65, and I'm headed on the road. This is a double shot morning. You know, and what I mean by that is I got my double shot. I don't know if you can see it, but my Monster Java and Intense Energy from Flying J. It would be in my Flying J cup, but I forgot to take my cup in, and it's such a long ass walk that I wasn't coming back to get it. And now that I've got it in that cup, I'm just going to leave it there. So, as I walk through, all the Millis trucks are gone except for one or two that came in behind me, and they're back here behind me, which is the way it ought to be. You know, those guys got here before me. They should be gone before me. But I'm running about 15-20 minutes late. It was getting up this morning wasn't the easiest thing in the world, and the fact that I found out last night, because I'm a dumbass, that I don't have to have this shit delivered today. It doesn't have to be delivered till tomorrow. Didn't help to motivate me any. But I do still need to make a paycheck, and I can't twiddle around with it. So I got to get this stuff done, you know. And I'm not going to get it done sitting here. I'm not going to make money sitting here. So I got to get my butt on the road. Did my pre-trip already. Checked my fluids, checked my lights. I checked the fluids this morning because I didn't check them when I fueled up yesterday, and I didn't check them when I stopped last night. Anyway, I checked my tires. Checked my tandems. You know, and all that kind of good stuff, you know, and made sure all my pins were still locked, and you know, I looked at all my linkages, and you know, checked my belts and all that stuff just to make sure everything was running right. Now I'm pretty sure everything's still good. You know, the fluids are the only thing that, you know, I ever really have a strong concern with. I mean, this truck just got out of you know, B service less than a week ago, so if shit starts falling apart now, then we got a problem. The only thing wrong with the truck is the right side mud flap. I don't know what the hell happened to this thing, but it's sitting almost horizontal, you know, straight out, parallel with the ground. And I don't have a clue how that happened. You know, I've been thinking about it. I haven't hit nothing. The only thing that I can think of that it could be, and I just can't imagine this being it, is the other day I was on one of these interstates, and there was a car on the left side of me, right up here by my front fender, and another one behind it by my rear tandems, and a big piece of cardboard came flying across the interstate and landed right in front. I couldn't do anything but hit it, you know. I mean, it was nothing but a piece of cardboard. You know, I saw it when it was flipping through the air, and you know, it landed right underneath my front tire, and the only thing I can think is that I hit that and it flipped it up into that mud flap, and it knocked the mud flap up. But I can't see a piece of cardboard doing that, you know. I mean, hell, it's just nothing but compressed paper. I can't see that, you know, that happened. But you know, I mean, maybe it was, you know. I mean, you get a high rate of speed going, and you know, it's amazing what some of the stuff can do. So anyway, some of y'all may know, because I think I've mentioned it in some of my other videos, that I'm considering becoming an owner-operator. All right. Now let me clarify a couple things before I continue this part of this discussion. First is that I'm not considering becoming an operator anytime real soon. I don't know enough about how the industry operates and how the money in the industry operates to even think about delving into that. And my last business, let me correct that. I think about it all the time, but not to plan to do it right now anyway. My last business went under, and I fought to keep it open because I needed, I don't know, I mean, I just needed it, I needed it to succeed, and it didn't. And I ran my family into debt because, I was too stubborn to understand that it wasn't going to succeed. I knew the tattoo industry inside and out, and I was relatively certain that I could make it work if things would just get a little bit better, but things just never got any better. So, I went a long way into debt, and we have a lot of debt now. Some of y'all may not think it's a lot of debt, but it's roughly, I'm sitting at roughly $25,000 in debt right now, and I've got to get, and that's not including my car, my wife's car or our house. That's just debt that I racked up associated with the tattoo studio, and we have to take care of that, and we're going to take care of that. And that's one of the things that we're working towards right now, is getting that taken care of. And so I understand that. But I'm not the type of person that only considers my place right now. Okay. Right now I'm a company driver for Millis Transfer. I like Millis Transfer. The company is treating me well. The pay is good. The miles are good. Even when I'm at the bottom end of the pay scale. And so, but it's not my way to only consider that. My way is to consider also, where am I going to be at in the next 5 years? What is it that I'm working to accomplish? Okay, because without goals in life, there's very little motivation. So, what I'm doing is not just working to correct, my mistakes in the past with business, but also to further my place, in the future, and so I'm considering becoming an owner-operator. That's what I want to do. It's eventually what I'm going to do. Okay. Now, good Lord, that ought to be the last thing to fall. So anyway, the owner-operator thing, there is a lot that I need to learn, all right? And one of the things that I need to learn is, about getting loads, whether or not I want to broker my loads myself,
on I-65 South,
or whether or not I want to sign on with somebody as a lease, or whether or not, and I don't mean as a lease purchase program, I mean leasing onto a company, or whether or not I want to hire a broker, those things, and I don't know enough about any of them to really make an informed decision yet. Also, if you're also considering becoming an owner-operator later, man, understand that finances, starting finances, are of immense importance. Having the truck and having the knowledge about brokers, or having a company that
turn left on I-65 South.
That's not enough, because if you don't have a maintenance fund, if you don't have money set aside to handle the problems that go on with your truck, the oil changes, your fluid changes, a new tire if one blows out or goes flat, anything. It doesn't. Some of these repairs can cost thousands and thousands of dollars. know, so if you don't have a maintenance fund already set up when you get into your truck, you know, then you need to consider putting together a maintenance fund before you become an owner operator. And so that's another thing that we are planning to do, is put aside money so that if we do decide to buy a truck, our first truck is more than likely going to be used, and you know, and so I've got a friend of mine who's a mechanic, and I'm going to ask him, you know, when I get ready to buy it, I'm going to ask him to go over it, you know, and do a full mechanical inspection of the vehicle, all right? And then, you know, I need to locate a mechanic that I can trust to do the repair work on it if repair work is needed. I need to understand how load boards work so that I can determine whether or not it's worth brokering my own loads, or whether or not I need to hire a broker, or whether or not I need to lease on to a company. I've already been talking to some owner operators as I meet them on the road, and you know, most of them are leased onto a company. Most of the ones that I've talked to,
continue on
face-to-face,
I-65,
are leased onto a company, and they're not making very much money. They're making, you know, one guy I was talking to is making $1.19 a mile, and you know, the overwhelming majority of that is eaten up in fuel and maintenance costs. So you know, he gets a pretty good fuel surcharge, but you know, he's take home still isn't good. And I asked him, you know, how he could make a living like that, and he told me his truck's paid for. You know, okay, so you still got to get to the point of paying for the truck, you know, in order to make a living, you know, at $1.19 an hour. It seems to me that you're working for peanuts like that. You know, just the cost of operating the truck can run, you know, up to $1 an hour. You know, I mean, it depends on the truck. I haven't quite worked it all out, but you know, by talking to other people, you know, I mean, it can be a considerable cost. So, you know, if you're not really making, you know, much more than that, you know. Anyway, some people say that they get percentages of each load that they run. You know, and the way they explained it is because they get percentages on each load that they run, and the key for them is to run the least amount of miles for the most amount of percentage. Okay, so for them, you know, 400 or 500 mile run is a better run than running 800 to 1,000 miles. All right, if they can get a higher percentage of the load that they're delivering. And so those are things that I kind of need to figure out. You know, I mean, what does a load pay? If you're getting paid a percentage, you know, how much does it pay? How do you figure out? Is it by the weight of the load, or the cubic feet of the load, or is it by both? You know, is it by distance? You know, I mean, the weight of the load is a huge factor on fuel consumption, so I would assume that the weight of the load would be a factor in determining, you know, the cost for transporting it. You know, but you have to figure in all your operating expense, you know, including permits and you know, license fees and your authority and, you know, and all that stuff, and then you got to calculate all those fixed costs over a year's period of time, and then you've got to calculate your fluctuating cost, you know, your maintenance cost, your you know, your fuel cost, and, you know, and all that kind of stuff that, you know, can change from day to day. And you know, and you've got to anticipate those and figure those into, you know, your miles per your amount that you can make per mile. So there's a lot involved in it. So, you know, what I'm saying to you is that when you get into truck driving, you know, if you're happy as a company driver driving for a company, hey, stick with it. I mean, with Millis, I've got top of the line equipment. I never have to worry about paying for repairs. You know, they're on top of it. You know, they get it taken care of. You know, most places where I have to do the maintenance work has a decent driver's allowance that I can kick back in. You know, if it takes too long, I'll put you in a hotel, you know, at no cost to you. You know, all those things are factors. They pay for 100% of your fuel. They pay for all your permits, all your tags, you know, and everything. You don't pay for anything. All you do is take home a paycheck, and it's a good paycheck. You know, I'm not gonna lie. It's a good paycheck, even at the low end. As an owner-operator, you're responsible for all those things. The company's not going to pay for them. So, you know, as an owner-operator, you need to consider the cost associated with every bit of that. You know, if your truck has to go back to a mechanic to get repair work done, and you have to stay in a hotel room, you're paying for that hotel room. You know, you're paying for the food that you have to eat while your truck's sitting in the shop. You're paying for the hourly wage of the mechanic. You're paying for the parts, you know, that they're putting on it. You know, and then you're losing time while you're down. You know, you're losing money while you're down. You're not making anything. So those are all things that you want to consider before becoming an owner-operator, especially before choosing a truck. You know, other things that you need to know is how is the truck geared? You know, do you want a truck that's a 10-speed or a 13-speed or an 18-speed? You know, and why would you choose the difference between the three? What kind of freight do you want to haul? Do you want to haul reefer? Do you want to haul flatbed? Do you want to haul dry van? Do you want to haul dry bulk? Do you want to haul liquids, consumable liquids, non-consumable liquids, hazmat? You know, those are things that you want to consider. Which one pays the most? Which, you know, what states are you going to operate in? How many permits do you need to operate in every state that you want to operate in? You know, and then if you get a load going to someplace, you know, how are you going to get a load out of there to come back? You know, because empty miles don't make you money. And as a company driver, I get paid for empty miles. The company eats that money. You know, but for me, as an owner-operator, I don't get paid those miles. You know, I only get paid for the miles that I'm actually delivering. So those are also things that you need to consider. You know, which follows into route planning also. If you get a load going someplace, you need to be as close to the actual miles as possible, because every mile that you take out of route is costing you in fuel. So you know, those are things that you need to consider. So yeah, I'm considering becoming an owner-operator, and kind of tentatively, I've set for myself about a 5-year plan. Okay, and you know, we'll reevaluate that in a couple of years. But as of right now, I've kind of got a 5-year plan. That's where I'm at, and you know, I just kind of wanted to discuss it with you a little bit. You know, to kind of let you know, what's on my mind in that area. I know I've brought it up before, but I haven't given a lot of attention to it. You know, I haven't said a whole lot about it. I need that. So I just kind of wanted to bring it to your attention now and let you know that one of the things that I am working for as a driver is to become an owner-operator. And I'm really inclined to do it currently under my own authority. Right? Meaning that right now, I've heard a lot of really good things about really good money that I can make over the road with certain companies. I'm not sure that that's what I want to do or how I want to do it. So I think what I'm going to do is run under my own authority, and I don't know yet what I'm going to concentrate on as far as what I'm going to haul, whether it's going to be dry van, reefer, flatbed, dry bulk, you know, or a tanker of some type. And I'm still thinking about that, and I'm really wanting input on that from experienced owner-operators. So if you know an owner-operator, you know, that's successful, I would like to hear from him, you know, about what pays the best and some of the pitfalls that he may have fallen into in brokering his own loads. If you know an owner-operator who was not successful, then I'd like to hear from him to find out why. What is it that, looking back on it, what is it that he feels like he did wrong? What is it? Where did he make his mistake? Because if I can learn from another person, both from those that have not succeeded and from those who have, I can take that information and I can use it to become a success for myself. So, let these folks know and let them see the video, and ask them if they'll respond either with a video response, or and if they do that, then tag me in it, or put a link to that video response in my comments, or by just sending me a message, and explaining it to me, whatever the case may be. Because if they're willing, I would like to learn. It's going to be about 5 years before I seriously start making the transition. And during that 5-year time, currently I plan to stay with Mills. Mills is a good truck, good company, and I like being here, and I don't want to leave unless I'm leaving to become an owner-operator. And that may change in the future. I'm not going to say that's set in stone, but that's where I'm at the moment.